me even past that once I started doing it to get rid of the brace and like to actually compete without the brace on. That was a whole nother step of took some time to get past that.
It takes time to get past that. Now, world champion, and then, you take a little bit of time off, right? You were a world champion at the time, and then, there's always a question, discussion that people talk about seeds, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that you need a seed to win, but you came back basically with no seed and won, right? How do you feel on that topic about with not being able to win unless you have a seed?
With seeds, I think it creates a
win, but you came back basically with no seed and won, right? How do you feel on that topic about with not being able to win unless you have a seed?
With seeds, I think it creates a first tier goal for people to have. Like, everyone wants to win, and everyone wants to set the goal of like, I want to win. I'm going to do my division. I'm going to win. But sometimes when you set a goal that's so high and takes so much work, you'll find that you start to lose momentum and you get a little discouraged trying to aim for the stars immediately.
Yeah.
So seeds has always been something where it's like, I want to place in the top 4 as soon as possible. If I'm placing in the top 4 or maybe top 3, top 2, and if I do get that win occasionally, I'm going to fall into that seed, and then that's going to kind of give me that motivation like, all right, I put in the time, I deserve to be in the top 4, now it's time for me to start kicking rear and taking that first spot.
So it's like strategy. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's a great advice for anybody.
It's motivation.
Yeah, it's motivation. That's great. If you're out there and you're starting out in the circuit, right, that could be your first goal. Of course, you want to win right off the bat, but, sometimes people go and they get frustrated. Yep. They think they did it good enough, and they're like, they blame it on seeds, but I think that's not the case. Now, as far as let's go back to strategy. I like talking about strategy with fighting, and I like, I know that there's strategy with forms. Do you have pretty much like one form or 2 forms when you go, or a few forms ready for when you go and compete?
I think I can speak for most of the top competitors. Like, we all have our skeleton. We all have our bread and butter that works, and that's what all of our forms are based off of, is one format that we know is almost, for lack of better words, can be perfected with the performance and the execution of moves. However, that skeleton is always kind of changing in the sense of like, the muscles you're putting in are like, everything. So like with tricks or flips or certain pauses, that can all change. I'd say I have, at any given point, I could have like 3 forms I could throw, but to some people it would still be the same format. Yeah. But how I end or how I start a section or the trick that I throw, that can be interchanged and moved around. Yeah. But what I know works stays consistent, because you have to be consistent in a performance sport.